He's Matt Hall. I'm Grant Flanders. We're in Waco. The Cats get the win 70-63 over the Bears and now have a 2-game lead in conference play. Tell me about that.
That's the big story, right? We'll talk a lot about the game in this video and over the next day or so at KSO, but that's the big story, what Flando just told you. K-State holds a 2-game lead in the loss column, probably a game and a half if you're looking at the regular standings, but the loss column, as DY told me today, I agree is what really matters. So the Wildcats 2 games up in the rest of the league by winning here in Baylor. It was a tough win for K-State. The Wildcats were down by as many as 8 in the second half. I was really surprised and impressed how loud this place got. The Farrell Center was rocking today. It was full, a great atmosphere. I thought K-State was in trouble despite Baylor being depleted. No Makai Mason, no King McClure. The Wildcats still behind a big game from Cam Stokes, able to get that win, and like you said, go 2 games up on the rest of the league in the Big 12.
I'd say Cam Stokes was the player of the game. Would you?
He got my award for player of the game. I know that's a shock to everybody watching this, but he deserved it today. Cam Stokes, 20 points on just 10 shots from the field, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. In all seriousness, he should have had 7 or 8 assists today. He had a lot of problems with guys finishing passes around the basket. Some other guys contributed. We'll talk about all of them, I'm sure, but Cam Stokes was huge today. One other guy I'll talk about would be Cartier Jada. He did not score in the first half, had 10 in the second half. They all felt huge again. So Cam Stokes, my player of the game, but without Cartier Jada, I don't think K-State gets out of here with a win.
Cardi talks about how big his game was in the second half and how that set them up for a big second half.
Just had to make plays for the team. I know that last time we was in the press conference, I said that I need to score 10 or more, and I feel like that's going to help us win. And I didn't have any points going into the second half, and I was just like, be more aggressive and try to get that 10. And I did get that 10. We got the W, so excited.
So as I so eloquently said, Matt Hall.
Perfectly stated.
Cardi, he had a really big second half. Tell me about it.
He did, the quote you displayed, he's been told if you can get in that 10-point range, you're going to have a good impact in the minutes you play. He played 29 minutes tonight. Something we told you and off the record on Friday was how much K-State struggled at times with getting guys like Cardi and Mike McGurl to adjust to the new roles. Interestingly, after I wrote that, Bruce Weber talked about that today in the post-game press conference. You'll see that from Flanders' videos, that adjustment. But he was the difference, other than Cam's big game. He had 2 big threes, a beautiful play where on the other end of the basket over my left shoulder, he saved a ball going out of bounds all the way to the other end of the floor for Barry Brown for I believe, a dunk that more or less felt like it sealed the game. And ironically, right by us here, Barry Brown in the first half saved one under the wrong goal where Baylor scored. So K-State learned from that. They learned from what happened in College Station 2 weeks ago, and Cartier Jada helps lead them to a win over Baylor today.
So we haven't even brought up Barry Brown yet. Talk about his game and some other guys you thought.
It was an interesting game. I'll be honest. I asked Bruce Weber after the game if he was nicked up. We saw a little bit of a sleeve on his left knee. I haven't noticed a lot, and I thought he wasn't overly aggressive today. Bruce Weber, to his credit, was right, and I said this next to, with Derek sitting next to me. Baylor was basically daring them to shoot threes. They were going to pack it in the entire game. Barry Brown was not going to be able to just put his head down and attack the basket. Doesn't mean they couldn't have played better offense. I'm not saying starting that whole topic, but it wasn't the kind of defense that allows Barry Brown to do that. I'm still curious, but I don't either way. I don't perceive him to be injured. He may not be hurt at all, according to Bruce Weber. Either way, I think it'll be fine. It'll be interesting to see what he does against Texas this coming Tuesday.
Now, let's talk about that Texas game this coming Tuesday.
It's a huge game like they all are going to be from this point, right? If you're the first place team in the league, leading by 2 games or whatever it is, every game's meaningful. This one may be a little bit more meaningful. K-State lost by 20 to Texas in the Big 12 opener. The Wildcats, like you said to lead this video off, have won 8 in a row in most of Big 12 history. So we forget about those losses, but they lost to Texas by 20 in Manhattan. No Cam Stokes, no Dean Wade that game. K-State didn't talk like they were really looking forward to this. At the same time, we asked them 20 seconds after they just beat Baylor. But to me, it could be a bit of a revenge game for K-State down in Austin. Yeah,
Coach Weber stated that he really thinks this is a big stretch coming up.
All we can worry about, 1 game at a time, and that's all we can do. I guess a little good fortune. TCU won at Iowa State, but it doesn't mean anything. There's lot of games to go, eight games. We just got to keep plugging along 1 game at a time.
So now K-State sits 18-5 overall, 8-2 in Big 12 play.
Not ranked.
Oh, well, you're ranked in my heart. But he's Matt Hall. I'm Grant Flanders. Thanks for watching K-State Online, and stay with us. And, man, I always forget.
I would sincerely appreciate it if you tell your friends.